Hi, it's David here with Futures Trading. I'd like to welcome you to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. This will be my final video, you guys, and I want to share with you two things from my private community. I want to give away something before I go. I'm going to tell you how to count your pullback, how to get into it a bit. There's actually two additional ways with price and price alone. No technical tool involved that I released, and I want to make sure that my private community know where to find it. But I want to give my public community here a chance to benefit from some of the private information. So I'm going to give you guys two approaches to pivots and when markets pull back. I'm going to give you some information. So stick around. The channel here is free, just a lot of free information for you. And I hope that you find all of this information useful. This is the live threshold, how far the candle will pull back before resuming, and then the price action trend. You just need to be able to count to 10 to get it to work. And then the price action method. I use the majority principle, which states that the minority is compelled to follow. So it's really important. There's three different ways that'll show up on the chart, and I'll show you exactly what it looks like. The universal chart scale, I teach you how to read your bezel. So you don't have to look left. The market will turn right in front of you if you don't blink too long. That's really important that you don't do that. All right. So without any further ado, we're definitely going to take a look at it. And I want to talk to you about the daily. All right. Because the daily has turned. And I told you guys 3 weeks ago that this is the target where it's possibly headed. This is where they're possibly headed. Not only that, I told you guys in this video here that the hourly had left the target on the hourly chart. And should they turn around and make that target, it's a very good chance that they were coming here. And I still think that this is possible. So they may be on their way. But for my private community, if first off, if you're new and you need additional information, I do provide it. And that's what it looks like. But my private community, I release what I'm about to show the public here. I released that here. All right, so I released that here. Tons of information. There's two other ways of going about it. So again, you would need to go back if you haven't done so already. Go back to that video and capture the other two ways. Price exclusive. All right, so there's no technical tool involved. However, I'm gonna give away the technical tool approach here. All right, and there's two other ways in there. So please go back, my private community, if you haven't done so or made it down that far to the videos. Please go back and take a look. So you're going to see fives popping up on the bar. I know everybody hates when the market slows down and it just kind of chops around, and you just can't kind of get heads or tails as to where it's going to go and when it's going to do it. Hopefully, this could help. All right, so that's the trend distance. They made it. All right, so this little yellow dot. Thank you, Gabriel, so much for making this indicator. It's fantastic developer. He and I really have a wonderful time talking about how to time markets. All right, so yeah, and they made it. All right, so they got up here. Really important stuff. Now, the fives. I want to tell you about the fives. Really simple way of going about it. This moving average touched that 15 EMA. The fifth bar, we don't care about the others in between. We just want to see if that fifth bar can close beneath it. So there's the fifth bar. It closed beneath it. It can go down further. It must not break the back of the bar. This bar touched the moving average. Can the fifth bar close above here? They broke the back. That's not it. Okay. It's just that simple. All right. And repeat the same process. Here's that bar. You would say, can the fifth bar close beneath this low and also here? And can it keep continuing down? Now that's simple. That's one way of looking at it. And we'll talk about these zones in just a moment. Now, the center of the chart is here. I got to go over the free information. That's why I say in a moment. So I did want to put that there so you can get a better understanding as to what we're doing. Of course, the green bar touched the moving average. Can that fifth bar close above here? It's turning, okay, and it went through the back of the bar. Remember, it cannot do that. That's the number one thing. It cannot do that. All right, so the center of the chart here, can they turn around and go back up? Yes, because as long as they're above the center of the chart, it can turn around. The upper portion of the chart, so the upper half of the chart is here, and then the lower half of the chart is here. All right, now, based on what majority has suggested, now I'm just going estimation here. From above, it said that it can go this far. All right, so I'm gonna try to make this as quick as possible. All right, that's the first red bar that you're seeing. The second one is pretty much one and the same. If you ask me, they're pretty close together. So the second one is suggesting that they can get here. All right, it's suggesting that. All right, now the red bar is touching. Can it close bar number 5 beneath here? All right, can it close bar number 5? So As they get closer to the center of the chart, it may go ahead and rotate. Now, I like the threshold on the red bars or the green bars. All right, so here's a threshold on the red bar. If you see them turning away from the first bar with a 5, there's a good chance they might respond to that one. I don't believe they should make it this far, but I'll just gotta put this here because if they keep drifting down, we're gonna have a problem. All right, so maybe here. Now, what they're doing now may be majority kicking it in to get it back up. What is the majority? We get a bar, then we get the live bar, the live candle with the mid exceeding the high or the mid exceeding the low. All right, so we get the mid exceeding. That's important. The very next thing is that we get a big wick and small wick. Right? That's the next thing. You see, that's there. The mid is above this high. This is a green bar, even though it's like a doji. It's a green bar. The next thing we will want to see: can we get the body to fit inside this body at least twice? They can't break the back of this if that's to be the case, but it appears that it's turning the scenario back around to want to come back down even further. So it may want to make this. They managed to move themselves up to this high, but they're not breaking that high currently. They're trying to turn around and move down. All right, so of course this green bar is not it because they went through the back of it, because the moment that they trigger the back of it, that's not the setup. Now, if this is the all-in-one to get it up, clearly they can hit that threshold, come back up and bring it back up if they so choose. So if you're going to use a majority, this is the thing I would tell you. See, can you get all of this to show up? If you can get all of it to show up, fantastic. It's a very strong chance that you can get it to work. All of it was there. Big wick, no wick, body can fit in there twice, mid above the high, the bar is green. Fantastic. Let's go. It's really simple. It's not complicated. Same thing here. They had it here, but they just didn't break the high. Did they make the distance? I'm pretty certain that they got most of it. So try to get, well, yeah, almost all of it. Try to get it all to show up. That's the most important part of it all. All right. So now I told you about the 5. Let's see, can they get that fifth bar above here? Now, because this bar's low went below there, the 5 will probably show up here. All right. It'll probably show up here. If I am permitted to do just that, I told the indicator to do that too, just in case, just one low below that low. Really don't want them to break the low of that bar, but I'm pretty certain if they can put bar number 5 above here, you'll get bar number 5 above here as well. And so it kind of makes sense. All right. So, but for the most part, that's what you're looking for when it comes to trying to time the turnaround in relation to the chart. All right. So we want to kind of put that together too. You want to put the price scale together, your bezel, put that together along with this timing information. Now, for my private community, again, there's 2 other ways to time the market that has nothing to do with no technical tools. And not only that, of course, in the playlist alone, not just that video, but in the playlist alone, I have disclosed to you several different price action methods of how to count and know when the market is going to turn, when you should buy. It's something that it does. Price always does the same thing and give you hints when it will turn around. All right, so just jail some of this together. Gave you 3 more ways to count, to just count. It's in the counting. It's really in the counting. I want to make sure you guys understand that. All right, so that's number 1. So that's number 1, the 5. All right, so the 5, there's the indicator there. If you're looking for it in your indicator list, people, just download the indicator suite. There it is. Okay. Now the next one is the historical 7th supply and demand. All right, so this is something that deals with your pivots, and I'm gonna show this to you on your NQ. I'm not going to just show it to you here. I'm going to show it to you on your NQ because I want you to see it. Now, when it comes to market pivots and when they break pivots, price responds very, very funny when they break pivots. They absolutely do. And there's something that it does that when it breaks the pivot, in some cases it can keep right on going. And I told my private community what to look for when that happens. But for you guys here, I'm gonna go to the NQ because I definitely want to get to those targets. I want to show you guys what that looked like. We'll bring this back in just a moment. Keep mind of what it is that I've shared with you thus far about the 5. All right, just keep mind of that, and then I'm gonna show you the pivot aspect in just a moment. All right, so ranges. If you guys like range trading, if you like range trading, here's some range times for you. These are some indicators that's in the indicator list as well. Uh, there's a new move away bar color. I told you got about it in the last video, but if you haven't been able to catch the last video, there's a move away bar color in here. And this majority, I just added just a little bit of information to it to kind of pinpoint turns. That's all, and that's that block indicator. So you can use these range times. They're very simple. They're very robust. It's not complicated stuff. You can just take the range, just the range, the center of the range. If you can keep them below the middle of the range, fantastic. If you can get them above the middle of the range, fantastic. You're bullish. All right, it's really simple. And the moment that the bar closes, with those who have the indicator suite, that's your block indicator. Please look in your maps for it. The block indicator provides you some information. All right, the moment the bar closes, block come on, tell you, hey man, this is important. You might want to pay attention to this. All right, so but yeah, the center of the range, below the center of the range, you're bearish. Above the center of the range, you're bullish. All right. And that's that information there. So let me just get rid of that. Now, this is our hourly. In the last video, we were here, and I told you guys that they had left a two back here. All right. And that was in this video. I told you that they had left that two. They dropped down near it, but they didn't get it. They didn't get it. They took off again. And I came back within the 3 days. I told you that they would probably go up, but let's see if they can go higher. If they can go higher in 3 days, they push down. Then in 3 days, they were back up to that high. Now, that target for the daily, let me add some days here because I'm going to need it. Let me just add a couple days here because it was 3 weeks ago I gave you guys the daily information, and I want to make sure that you're able to get that to work as well. This thing is taking its sweet time. Oh, okay, here we go. Oh, okay, I already got enough days in there. Fantastic. All right, so I don't want to be before you long, so do bear with me. I want to give you guys some more information, and I would absolutely let you go. Again, this will be my final upload, and again, I celebrate the fact that each one of you have come to the channel. Thank you so much for doing so. All right, so they're coming here. All right, so let me just kind of throw something there real quick. Matter of fact, let's do this. Let me just do this. All right, so let me get a zone or something. Let me just kind of get a zone. Let's do this. All right, so I'm gonna just kind of put the come on now. This thing is taking forever. All right, so let me just kind of drop that there. All right, so now there was that daily target I gave you guys. Let me see if it's back here. Let me see if it's back here. There it goes. All right, so 22 388.50. There's a two down here on the day. This is price action information as well too. There's an indication that I have in the playlist. I mean, in the indicator list that will tell you. Okay, so they did make that. All right, so they made that, and I told you, should they make that, there's a good chance that they were going to come here. So there's still room for you guys to get short all the way down to that 388.50. All right, still room. And I told you guys that if they get that, they should get that one on that daily, even though it's been 3 weeks. They're on their way to getting it. All right, so, and that's price action information as well. And there's an indicator that you can apply to your chart that will put that on the chart and tell you that that's a target on the way to it. And I even made a video about it and explain to you what that is. So if you are part of that private community, please go take a look at that video as well. Let me go ahead and get rid of this chart. Now, this is your NQ. So this is your NQ. Same information about the five. All right. So here I only got those two indications on the chart. Want to make it real stripped down and just real simple for you. We'll bring back Bitcoin in just a moment. Then I will absolutely let you go. Now, primarily with the NQ, you guys know and I know they love to break the pivots and then they'll come right back to you. All right. They'll break the pivot and say, here we come. All right. Well, I want to show you. I'm going to just show you. I can't tell you what to do with the breaks. All right. That's something I tell my private community. But I want to show you what it looks like and hopefully you'll catch on. You'll kind of get an idea of, okay, this may do this, all right, and that's all, and then you can get an idea of what that is, and just blend some of the other information here on the channel with that, as far as your chart scale. Make sure your majority is there. Just make sure you're paying attention. All right, so you can see a five here. It's kind of behind that zone, but it's there. It's one here as well, and then it's one down here. All right, so in all of this, if you count, that's all it is. Just count. They kind of got to the back of this one. They kind of pushed down, but they don't want to go down. Why? Because it's a five here, and then they pushed higher. All right, but then they hit these zones, and then they turned around. So it's not just the pivot, which the pivot is here. They turned around and they came back. All right, so they just kind of double back, and then this was a just a fantastic sweep of the the bottom that they did here. They swept that low, came right here to the back of this, turned around, and then of course they pushed up. All right, did just that. Now, the fifth bar, remember, here's the bar touching the moving average. One, two, three, four, five. We're closing back below that low. They lift up just a bit and then bam, they punched that low. All right, so I'm gonna give you a chance to look at just a little bit of this before they popped up and turned the corner here. All right, so just to give you an idea of that five, it's happening quite a bit. Again, you can go with this information if you would like, but my main focus is to show you what the market does when it breaks pivots sometimes. So there's some information there that they're doing. They're doing something really important, and I want you to see if you can figure out what it is. All right. And I've done this before, put stuff in front of you and say, hey, can you figure out what's happening? And hopefully this time you can catch on. Again, this will be my final video here. They kind of punched this high, they punched this high here, and then they turn the corner. All right. So just see if you can figure out what's happening. All right. So let me scroll back here just a little bit more. I'll give you a chance to look at a little bit more of this information here. It's not just when they break the pivot. I'm trying to give you an idea how far outside of the pivot you can possibly see price before it begins to turn around. All right. So, and that's important as well. Let's just look at that whole decline all the way down. Let's just do that, and then we're going to take another quick look at Bitcoin, and then I would absolutely let you go. Yeah, they were up and then they turned the corner. All right. So as you can see, they had the fives up here and they're, being really funny with this. And then they jump up, they kick the high, there's the high. If you just knew that this price here was important moving forward, that'll change how you look at the pivot. And then of course they turn the corner and there's, the move down. And then they, of course broke up above the pivot there and then they turn the corner and then they begin to break down, and that's what it looks like. All right, so and this is what they're currently looking like right now. All right, so that's currently what they're looking like right now. Let's look at that Bitcoin, and then I would absolutely get out of your hair, and I absolutely celebrate the fact that each one of you are a part of the community. I know it's about 30 of you who have joined. And if you are willing to, do hit the like button and share this information with someone else and invite them to the channel. Because again, it's tons of information here that you can gather on the way to your career as a trader. I want to make it very simple and straightforward for you. It's not hard. Trust me, it's not. All right. So they put the five here, but then they turn the corner. All right, they turned the corner. They hit the threshold. All right, so let's bring our threshold back. You saw me draw this in here. There's the center of our chart. Okay, now the chart, it adjusts, but you saw me draw that there. All you have to do was rewind the video and just kind of run it back. They ran into the threshold here. There's the green bar that hit the 15. Okay, you just need the fifth bar to close above it. You have one, two, three, four. That's bar five. All right, so this could be a hard stop. Now, in knowing that, when they lean towards the back of the bar, you kind of got this going on, which was all of this. You kind of got all of that going on. Don't break this one. We're still above the center of the chart. Let's give it another try. I know they failed a couple times, but let's give it another go. And maybe you would have caught that quick pop. Now, of course, we got a zone here, and then we got one at the high. Again, the name of the indicator here is seven. All right, it's a seven. So it would take 7 bars to create the pivot. Seven. That's important. And of course, the way it behaves once it breaks the pivot, right? The way it breaks the pivot, that's significant as well. All right, so I absolutely have enjoyed delivering content to you guys here on the channel. I do celebrate the fact that each one of you have found your way here. Again, I did not pay for any likes, views, or subscribers. So if you would be so kind, share the information with someone you know that may need additional help with their trading. And I wish you absolutely all the best with your trading. Do take care.